Welcome to another episode of Can I Retire? Today's a special episode. We're going to go behind the scenes. I want you to understand why we use the software, what we're trying to accomplish, and a lot of really important things. There's 5 key core areas of what we want to accomplish in a financial plan. A lot of things below it, but there's 5 major things. Number 1 is income. 2 is investments. 3 is minimizing taxes. 4 is healthcare planning, and number 5 is a successful estate plan. So let's talk about each one of those and how this software and what we're trying to do every other week as we're shooting these Can I Retire segments. So number 1, income. Income could be from rental income, pensions, Social Security. So the software is going to show us, if you will, a high probability, the best time to actually turn on your Social Security. So, maybe if you're healthy or sick, or, we have a spousal benefit or survivor benefits, there's so many different options. The software behind the scenes can tell us the best probability of success. And more importantly, it can tell us if we're going to outlive our money. You'll see a lot of times on the Can I Retire segments, I'll shoot a little button or click a button that shows 1,000 different trials. This shows us the sequence of potential returns. And this helps us make sure that the number 1 core element to a financial plan is to making sure that we're not going to outlive income. So my first question to you is do you have a written income plan? Okay. If you do, can you show it to me? Can I look at it? Can I touch it? Can I feel it? Can you show me specifically what you would do, where you're going to take money from when the market's up, and how you will change that plan if the market is going down? You don't want to be taking huge amounts of money out of a portfolio that could possibly put a real stress on that portfolio and you eventually outliving that money. So what changes are you going to make? Do you have a written plan? Simply yes or no. If you can't provide it to me, we got to classify that as a no. Number 2 is investments. This is one of my favorite areas. One of the biggest problems that I see that I talk about often is, do you have mutual funds in the same mutual funds in multiple different accounts? So you have an IRA. Maybe your spouse has an IRA. You have a Roth. She has a Roth. Hold those statements out, take a look at them, and see, do you have the same investments in different accounts? That's really lazy part on the current financial advisor. They really should be diversified in multiple different types of assets. You don't want the same things in the different portfolios. What's the expense ratios? How expensive are these portfolios? And most importantly, in the investment, core number 2 is do you know your risk score? Most people will say, here, if this is a CD, very low risk, and this is super aggressive in the stock market, where are you at in between? Most people will say, well, I'm somewhere in the middle, but that's just way too vague in or near retirement. You want to know your specific investment score. And in today's technology, we can give you answer half a dozen to a dozen plus questions, and it literally will give you a specific score. You've seen me do this many times on the Can I Retire segments. It will show you your specific score. You go out to our website. Then you don't have to put in your personal information. There's no username or passwords. You can get your own score and see where you're aligned at. This helps your advisor pick the right portfolio, and you should be updating the score every single year, if not more often than that, so you can align those portfolios. So the question is on core number 2, investments, can you tell me your specific score? If you can, it's a yes. If you can't, that's a solid no. Number 3 to the 5 core elements of a great successful financial plan, in my opinion, is taxes. And I wrote a book called The 10 Tax Commandments. This is a major part of what our firm does, is wealth management and minimizing taxes for those who are in or near retirement. This is probably the most overlooked thing in retirement. People are trying to go out there and get great rates of return, but they never consider the tax planning. It's like they got this huge hole in a bucket and all these taxes are unnecessarily just going out. Most CPAs, most accountants, most EAs, most financial advisors don't help or talk about tax planning, but it is huge. You can actually decrease the investments that you're taking, the amount of risk that you're taking in those investments, just if you'll have a tax plan. Does it make sense to do Roth conversions? Do you do QCDs? There's all sorts of things out there that you can do in or near retirement that can help minimize your tax burden. Taxes are going up. They're already set in stone to go up in a couple years. What are you doing today? Show me. Do you have a written plan what your current taxes are right now, what they're going to be? Do you have a written plan of how to reduce those taxes? Okay. If you can produce that report and show me, let's classify that as a yes. But if you don't have that report, that's a no. You need to get tax help. You need to be proactive. You need to get a plan that has these things for you. So core value number 4 is healthcare planning. What long-term care plan do you have? What are you going to do for, Medicare? Are you going to retire before 65? Do you retire after 65? What happens, the biggest reason a financial plan falls apart is because someone gets ill, somebody gets sick. And my mother got sick a few years back. She's passed away now. We never thought in our wildest dreams that mom was going to get sick and pass away. We had all these ideas of traveling in retirement, doing all these things together, and unexpectedly, and they always are completely unexpected, is as she got sick with ALS, passed away 18 months later. We never got to do those things. Make sure that you have in writing a plan to take care of those health needs. What happens if you get sick? It's not easy to talk about. Most people don't want to talk about it, but what is your written plan? Do you have a proactive written plan regarding your health care? If you do, we're going to call that a yes, but if you don't, it's a solid no. And number 5, do you have a successful estate plan? Do you have your PODs, your TODs, your payable on deaths and your transfers on death? Do you have a will? Do you have a trust? How do you know which one that you need? Is the trust funded? Has the trust been reviewed yearly? Does it need to be updated? So having a successful estate plan is really important. You spent your entire life, saving money, accumulating money so you could have a great retirement. You certainly don't want to give it all away and go into probate, have all sorts of other issues. You'd much rather give it to what I call the 3 C's: church, charity, or children, the people you love the most, to dictate where it goes versus somebody else. So those are the 5 key elements. And I bring this to you today because this is what the softwares do that I'm always doing the Can I Retire segments behind us. Not just this one that we often show. There's multiple other softwares that we use, but those are the 5 core elements that we want to cover in the retirement Can I Retire segments. So I wanted to get this out there to you so you could better understand and ask yourself, yes, you have these things in writing and you can produce and show those to me, or no, you don't, and maybe it's time to do holistic planning. Maybe it's time to get a second opinion. Maybe it's time to be proactive, take advantage, get going, get back in the place. So I hope this was helpful. Remember to always consult a licensed professional who understands your specific goals and dreams.